Hey everyone, you are now tuning in to Getting Intimate with KWE. This segment is featuring prophetess Karan Leonard Jenkins. Stay tuned.
Because they say it, people say it to you verbally, but it's nowhere legally in writing, and that's the bring the people into legalities of what needs to be done in case of. And when you have children and grandchildren and things like that, you need things in place because it tears a family up when they have to decide who gonna get your necklace. Who gonna get them gold earrings? I like them. Who gonna get your clothes? Those things need to be spelled out so you don't have no issues nowhere. And it breaks up families. There's another area that I work in right now, and that's because I had gotten a lot of people who were, oh God, whose parents, grandparents, uh, husbands, wives were victims of COVID. And so the Lord said, this is what you do. And he showed me how to do it. I have something that I had, and I don't know if I'm going to incorporate or just leave it in my business. And that's called living legacy preparedness, because people are not ready and they're not thinking about death. They're not thinking about what they have. They're not thinking about, oh, the next generation, because the Bible says a good father leaves an inheritance, not just for his children, but there's longevity in that.
Right.
And our
Right.
children are not, our children are not instructed in business matters, saving, 401k, leave it alone, all these kinds of things. So I began to develop and do a training session in September. I think it was 3 of them that we did once a month. And I introduced a new subject. First, I talked about wills and why you need a will and what does a will do for you. Because people have issues, and I've seen it with families. Their parents or husband or wife leave really quickly, and there's nothing put in place for the family. They have to go to court. They have to wait for a court date because courts aren't open. All these things to get their people in the ground, and it makes no sense. So I developed a thing called Living Legacy Preparedness, where I teach people how to what they need to draw up their will, what they need to do an advanced care directive. Because many people, it's so funny, they go to the hospital, they go to the doctor, and they say, do you have advanced care directive? And they say, yeah. They don't even know what advanced care directive is. And then, they're in the hospital, and this is what happens. They're in the hospital, and they get into a compromising situation where they cannot make a decision for themselves. They may have had a stroke and can't talk. They may have had COVID and they're on a respirator, all these things. And it's hard. It's hard that you as an parent, not even a parent, but as someone married to an individual has to take the delegation of what should happen next from somebody else instead of you being able to say, yes, we're going to do it. No, I don't want it. Don't do it. You have no legal right to say, you can't do it. And because that advanced care directive is not in place where you're telling them, don't resuscitate me, let me go. If I'm in a coma, don't try to, because people say it to you verbally, but it's nowhere legally in writing. And that's bring the people into legalities of what needs to be done in case of. And when you have children and grandchildren and things like that, you need things in place because it tears a family up when they have to decide who gonna get your necklace. Who gonna get them gold earrings? I like them. Who gonna get your clothes? Those things need to be spelled out so you don't have no issues nowhere. And it breaks up families, and it causes a bad taste, in their mouths concerning things. Even, if there's someone delegated to be responsible for that along with another person, that's how it works. And everybody has to accept that because mom, dad, grandma, they said that, and it's in writing. So it's a lot of things that I do is to bring people into the legalities of business and to get rolling the right way. Even with my tax business, now I'm going back and forth in and out of pieces, but even with my tax business, I constantly get on my self-employed people. Listen, Don't tell me how many miles you rode off the top of your head. Put stuff in writing, put your mileages in a book, put things down, get it together, because guess what? When it comes to the dispersing of the bread and the butter among people and grants and things of that nature, you have nothing to show. And then you can't even compete for something that you may be eligible to do if you had your stuff together. Because many times you can say, I can do that, I do that, I do that. You may do it, but are you legally capable of doing it? So it's even down to, the self-employed people, come on, get your business incorporated or LLC or whatever you're going to do, just do it so that you have a leg to stand on. Even if you go to get a car, get it under your company's name. Listen, if you've destroyed your credit, why are you not going to form another river or another opportunity? The Bible says that that there's rivers that flow from the mountain of God. There's diverse rivers. There's 3 rivers that were created in creation in Genesis. All of them were to bring money, bring resources to a particular area. So you have to know how to keep resources coming to your particular area of business, of your business strategy. You have to keep those things open and keep things open between people, because you never know. You never know when you're going to need a particular resource for what you need. And sometimes it involves getting in businesses or getting in boards and sitting on boards, because those are the places where decisions are being made, where votes are being made, if you can and you can't. And people are thrown out of those things automatically because they have nothing lined up. So my advice and my end goal on here is to help people to understand that this is going to be so important for the next agenda, that anything that we have hanging off and, little pieces hanging off, let's get those things together, cut them off, and let's smooth out this whole transition, because we're in 220 has brought us into a new foundation of living and a new way of living. So we need to really understand that we will not be the same. Nothing will ever be the same as it was. So we have to re-strategize in a way for kingdom purposes, and not just for a church or a house or this. You have to do it for kingdom purposes and transition and make sure you're imparting to another generation what you have to give. I wish I had time to really sit with somebody and just go through, I can't even, my children don't even want my tax business. They don't want it. I have over 100 and something clients by myself. They don't even want it. And the thing is that, you have to find someone, and it's not always yours, that want it. You're blessed because you got somebody. That's and you look like her, you mimic her, and you.
We've been around each other too long, I think.
People think we're siblings.
Yeah. Oh, y'all sisters? I'm like, yes, I am her sister.
They used to do it with me and my dad. It was so funny. We would go to places shopping, and like he was a tailor, so he was into the fabric, and I would go, to the fabric stores with him, and he'd go into, the places that he frequented, and they would say, "Oh, Reverend, this is your wife?" Now I look exactly like my mother, so this is so funny. That's your wife? And I look at him and said, he said, "No, that's my daughter, man." And he said, "No, that's not." He said, I said, "Listen," I said, "I tried to get him to marry me years ago." It would be so funny. And then they look at I show him my license. I said, "No, this is my birthday. This is my father." They said, "Old dog," like he was coming in with somebody on a sweet tip. What's wrong with them? Apostle would have knocked them in the head with an African soup bone, as he said.
Coming up next on Getting Intimate with KWE.
And people are always drawn to excellence. People are drawn to things that are excellent, that look good. They don't like things, and that's when you come from your norm of people that you're with, and you step up to another higher level, to another group, because you have to, if you don't move, there's something wrong, then you have to analyze what's happening.
Be a part of our community. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Instagram. Make sure that you are liking, that you're commenting, and that you are subscribing to our YouTube page as well. And don't forget to hit that notification button so this way you are made aware of all the new content that we place out. Also on our website, you can subscribe to our blog so this way you are in the know of all our updates, of all the new people who are joining our communities, and ways that you can get involved with us here at Kingdom Women Enterprise.